Welcome to the Own Your Life podcast, where our goal is to help bring hope, healing, and peace by sharing our experiences and inspiring you to own your life. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Own Your Life podcast. Today is episode 84, and I am very excited about this one because it is a subject I am super passionate about. It's all about health tips and tricks. I have been on my own holistic health journey for quite some time, and I'm always looking for new ways to and natural ways to do things from what a lot of what we've been told is quite the opposite. So just want to put the disclaimer out there. I am not a doctor. I am not giving you medical advice. If you choose to try any of these things, that's on you. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I've done and what has worked for me in the past and just a lot of the ways that I live my life. And so to start with, one of the really weird things that I've tried before. So I was diagnosed in 2017. I think it was January of 2017. I was diagnosed with Lyme's disease, Epstein-Barr virus, pyroluria. That was later in that year. I already had hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which I had hypothyroidism, and I still have a little bit of that. But that is where your thyroid is slower, so you need to take medicine to get it up to normal. A lot of people who have hypothyroidism are usually very tired. They have cold feet and cold hands, lack of energy, easy to gain weight because your metabolism isn't working as well as it should. And so I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's when I think I was 15 or 16, but and I've been on medicine ever since. But yes, so I was diagnosed with all the other things in January of 2017, besides the pyroluria that was later in that year. But it was a really weird time in my life. I felt like a zombie all the time. I had extreme brain fog, and I can go into this in more depth in another podcast. But for this, just brief overview, it was pretty awful. I feel like I lost a lot of time because I was just so out of it. I don't know if certain things that happened during that time were a couple hours, a day, maybe weeks long that I felt that way. I know from Matt's perspective that it was definitely really difficult for, him to watch that. And there were some times where I thought I didn't know if I was going to wake up just from some of the crazy symptoms and things that I was going through. And obviously I've made it to now, so I'm very happy and thankful. But I've been very passionate about holistic healing and whatnot. And I think I always had thought that I would have to be on thyroid medicine forever because that's what I was told. And obviously, if you know any of my views politically and whatnot, you can tell that I like to go against a lot of the mainstream and the grain. And I did not know that it is possible to get off of the thyroid medicine and get off of all of it and to heal your body back to what it should be, because our bodies are amazing things and we do have the potential and ability to get them back. Maybe not exactly 100% what it was before if you are overcoming anything, but to heal a lot of the issues that we have. And I think this is so powerful because I love the fact that, God designed our bodies so intricately that the things that they can do is quite amazing, and regenerating certain cells and whatnot. And just all of it is so fascinating. And I read so many books when I first started going through all of this. But one of the crazy things that I tried one of the first things in the beginning was, so I had my feet were always cold, ice cold, feet and hands always freezing cold, especially when I went to bed. And I had read in one of the books that I was doing more research on my thyroid stuff and whatnot, and it had said to wear wet socks to bed, and I thought, that is insane. Aren't I gonna get more cold? Couldn't I get sick that way? And so what you do, you take 2 pairs of socks. So the first pair is a cotton pair of socks. I just use like ankle socks. It doesn't really matter. And you wet them. And what I re-looked it up now because I haven't done it for so many years, and I actually might do it again because I forgot certain benefits it had. But anyways, it's supposed to help with that, help with the circulation for your feet and to help get rid of the cold feet so that your feet are like just normal room temperature or even a little bit warm. And I do not remember the length of time that I did this, but I know that it cured it. So what you do is you take the first pair, the cotton pair of socks, and you wet it. And I used warm water, but this says on here that I'm looking up, it says cold water. I don't know if it matters too much. I mean, I didn't want to put on freezing cold socks, but I know some of it say that actually helps better. But do whatever you would feel you want to do if you want to try this. But I did warm water, like lukewarm to warmer water. And then you put those on your feet, and then you put a dry pair of wool socks on top of that. And I got ones that were like mid calf, like normal socks. So they obviously covered the other and went up my ankle. So I did that, and I went to bed like that for probably at least a few weeks, if not a month, or maybe more. And it worked. It worked. It fixed my frozen feet problem. And it's also helped like with my hands too. I know that we joke a lot, Matt and I, because I always have a cold nose. Like I feel like I'm a puppy dog sometimes. I just always have a cold nose. But regardless, I'm not going to do anything about that. It was the feet and the hands that I was more worried about. And so that did help. That actually cured that. So now that I'm reading through more of it, and this is from drchristiansen.com, I actually have his book as well. But it does say that it can help with improving circulation. Obviously, it warms up your blood vessels so they dilate, and it's better for muscular energy, less pain, less symptoms of fatigue overall. So I thought that was cool. And your socks will be dry when you wake up, so you're not going to wake up with like super wet socks or anything. And when you do wet them, you need to wring them out. Like, don't put soaking wet socks on. Like, make sure they're just, you wring them out so they're not dripping or anything. But I've done that, and that's worked very well. And actually what started a lot of me changing things to more holistic options around the house was the book Don't Let Anything Dull Your Sparkle by Doreen Virtue. I read it, and there were a lot of interesting things in there, and I did start doing some of the things that she talked about, such as switching your dryer sheets to the dryer balls. You can get like the wool balls, or you can do, I'm pretty sure in the book that it had said to do aluminum foil balls. And I think I did that at first before I actually bought like the dryer balls, that you could just like wad up a bunch of aluminum foil and throw it in there. And it helps with the static and whatnot. And it's because the dryer sheets have so many chemicals on them, and they've been known to cause certain cancers. Because if you put that in your clothes and then now you're wearing it, you're breathing that in all day long, or it's on your skin or whatever. And that's just a higher chance of you getting that. So thought that was interesting. And I haven't used dryer sheets since 2016. I think that's when I read that book. So yeah, it's just something like I do know. I've got like the little dryer balls with like the little like spikes on them or whatever. It's not sharp or anything. It's not going to ruin your clothes, but I got them at Bed Bath & Beyond. And I've used those for years, and they last like forever. So it's not like you have to keep buying all these dryer sheets and then throwing them away. So it's better for the environment too, if you care about that. But it also is much better for you, so that you're not breathing in all these chemicals and whatnot. And I also had switched over like a lot of cleaning supplies and looking at things that have dyes in them, like laundry detergent, again, because that's on your clothes and that's something you're just going to keep breathing in. So looking for that. I'm a huge label reader. Ever since all this stuff happened to me, I've had to be super cautious on reading labels. It's gotten better with healing myself over time, but in the beginning it was like super strict on everything. And I had to check the labels of pretty much everything and make sure that it was safe and didn't have all the extra colorings added or the dyes, like I said, that just are really unnecessary and can harm you. So looking for that within your, your cleaning supplies, whether it's your dish soap or your laundry detergent, things like that. And even toothpaste. I know this is the big one. Fluoride is it's actually really bad for you, and it can cause a lot of issues, especially if you have thyroid issues to begin with. It does not help them. It makes them worse. And it's an endocrine disruptor. So what that is it keeps hormones from doing what they're supposed to be doing. So it's not good at all. And it's in a lot of the products that we have around our house and we don't even realize it. Like if you see plastic products that say like no BPAs, like you want that because the BPAs are endocrine disruptors. So fluoride is also an issue, and especially putting that in your mouth, that's, that's a more direct access to your bloodstream by being right there, like right in your tissues, and your mouth is obviously more open than somewhere else on your body. So I stopped using toothpaste with fluoride. I don't buy plastic products that have BPAs. PFAs is in cookware. So if you get nonstick cookware, you need to be sure that there's no, sometimes they call it PFOAs, but PFAs. That's also a disruptor, and I can give you the actual name for that. It is polyfluoroalkyl substances. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So if I pronounce that wrong, sorry. And then BPA is bisphenol A, and that's what you want to be careful of in your plastics, especially ones that you're drinking from. So if you've got like a plastic, like I have a giant plastic jug that I drink water from every day, and I make sure that does not have BPAs in it because I am drinking out of it every day. So if it's something that you're going to be, consuming products out of like that, you want to make sure there's no BPAs. Another one is Triclosan, which can be found in a lot of like body washes and a lot of antimicrobial soaps. So you would think that's, soap is good for you because you're cleaning, but if it's got that in there, it can actually be an endocrine disruptor and can hurt if you have thyroid issues. And in general, even if you don't have thyroid issues, like I wouldn't want to consume it anyways or have something that has it in it. It's just something that can exacerbate whatever, thyroid issue you do have, if you have one, and make that worse, or any other, endocrine thing that you have. It can definitely mess that up and mess with your hormones in general. So those are things that I have definitely worked hard to change all that. And I know it's not something that you just do overnight. I mean, you could, but it costs, obviously costs some money to change all your products over. So, slowly over time, I've done that. And I've definitely noticed a difference. I am not living the way that I was in 2017 with all the brain fog and like time just passing oddly because it's like I could never be present because I was just in like a funk the whole time. And it was so weird, such an odd time in my life. And then we moved, shortly after I had gotten diagnosed, and then I worked with a holistic doctor where we moved and all that fun stuff. But those are things that I've done just to be healthier and be more conscious of things. Cause I've always thought like, where do all these weird cancers and stuff come from that weren't around like 50 years or 100 years ago? Where's all this coming from? And a lot of it is coming from all these products that we consume and we use on a daily basis. And it's really scary. But the cool thing is you can change it. You can decide not to buy those things and to use healthier products so that doesn't happen to you. Like 2 weeks ago, I actually just got the rest of the amalgam fillings out of my mouth. Those are the Mercury fillings, the metal colored ones. If you guys have those, I had decided to get those when years ago when I got those cavities filled, instead of the tooth colored composite material, because they told me that they lasted longer. So I thought, I'd rather have it last longer. But it can be really damaging to have all that mercury in your mouth. I mean, I didn't have that many fillings, but enough that I just really wanted to get this problem. Like I wanted that to eliminate that as a factor in anything, that I'm going through. And I got 2 of them out last year or the year before last year, 2020. And then I just got the rest out a couple weeks ago. So I'm happy that is out of my mouth. I'm probably going to get a mercury test done probably in the near future, just to see, because once you do that, the mercury can, if you don't detox properly, it can embed itself in your tissues. So I just want to make sure that that's not still in my body, because that can mess with a lot of things as well. As you can imagine, having metal in your mouth, nobody really thinks about it, but it is very disruptive to your body, and just something I don't want to deal with down the road when I can get it taken care of now. So, and just newsflash, insurance doesn't cover this. They don't cover you getting that taken out because they want you to have the other ones, which is not shocking to me. I'm just very against the conventional medicine and medical world in general with certain things like that, because I feel like a lot of it is to keep you on whatever drug or treatment that you're on, and not to heal you, not to help you, but just to keep you sick so they can keep making money. Whereas a lot of holistic doctors, they want to help you get off of all those things that you're on so that you can be healthy and be wholesome and not have to depend on all these drugs or treatments to have a happy, healthy life, that you can heal yourself with a lot of natural means so that you can, really enjoy life and feel better, feel like the best version of you. And I know that's a lot of what we strive for. And so these are just things that I've done. Again, I'm not a doctor, so if you want to try some of these, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine as well. I'm not telling you what to do. But this one most recent and interesting thing that I want to talk about that helped me. I'm pretty sure that I had COVID a couple weeks ago. Actually, it's probably almost a month ago now. And I did not get tested for it. I work from home. There's no point. I'm not going to do that. So I did not get tested for it. But I'm pretty sure, because I had all the symptoms that everybody was talking about. I had the cold symptoms. I had lack of appetite. I was a little tired. I mean, that's normal with any time I get sick. But anyways, so I was listening to a podcast that Charlie Kirk put out with Dr. Peter McCullough, and he talked about one of the easiest and best things to do, especially if you get the Omicron variant, is to mix povidone iodine. This is like $5 at Target. So you can get a bottle of povidone iodine and do a half teaspoon of that, mix it with 1.5 or 1 to 1.5 ounces of water, and just use like distilled water or bottled water or something. Don't use tap water. So mix that together and then put it in, like, I got like a little plastic nasal sprayer from CVS, and mix that, put it in the nasal sprayer, and then do that on both sides of your nose. I think it was 1 to 2 times, like spray it up there and let it go back into your throat, and then you can like spit out, because it obviously doesn't taste good at all. So you could do that, and do that twice a day, or you could do it every 4 hours if you're like really sick, but twice a day until you start to feel better, because you're killing it at the source. You're going right at the source in the nose, because he was like, why would you take all these pills and all these other things when you can just cut it off at the source and kill the issue right there where it's originating, and you'll feel better so much faster because of it. So I tried it and it worked. It got rid of, I'm pretty sure it was COVID, but whatever I had, I was over it in like a day and a half. It was ridiculous. Like, I've never gotten rid of a cold and those symptoms like that fast ever before. So I only had to do the nasal spray process, like I think 3 or 4 times. So yeah, like a day and a half that I did that, and I already felt better. It got rid of all my congestion, all of it. It was gone. So take with that what you will. But he was like, so many doctors do this and they don't prescribe it because it's like super easy and super cheap. But that's what they do if they get sick. So I thought that was very interesting that he talked about that. But I went ahead and tried it because I thought, what's it going to hurt? And I know if you are familiar with hypothyroidism and thyroid stuff in general, iodine can be an issue. So I'm definitely mindful of that. And I didn't go crazy with it. So it's also very diluted. So I don't believe that it's going to harm me, a bunch, but that's just something that you have to worry about, iodine things for thyroidism. And that's something that people are usually on one side or not. They think you should use it and you shouldn't use it. So do your research. That's what I would say. But I took the risk for it, and otherwise you should be fine to do that. It's virtually no risk at all. But that's just what I did. And if I ever get sick again like that, whether it's COVID, whether it's a cold, whether it's a flu, I'm going to do that, because to me, I'm always about the root, and that's right at the root. So where's it coming from? It's in your nose. So why wouldn't you just kill it there instead of throwing all this stuff down your throat and taking pills or whatever, when you could just do that and be done. So that's what I've done. And I guess the last thing I want to mention, which, man, I could do a whole podcast on this. I probably will. One of the best health tips and tricks that I've done in the past, probably year and a half, is intermittent fasting. That has helped tremendously with my body, and I feel like I'm going to be increasing my time doing that now. I've been doing about 14 hours for quite some time. And it's actually so much easier than you think, because if you just like I finish eating by 6 p.m. and then I just don't eat until 8 a.m. That's pretty easy, because you're asleep most of that time. So intermittent fasting is not, I feel like some people think it's so hard and like, oh, I'll be starving. Like, it's really not that bad. So I'm going to be increasing mine to 15 or 16 hours, because I feel like between the 14 and 16 hour window is very good. And I've done a lot of research on it and listened to a bunch of informational podcasts about it as well. And I would just say, do your research, talk to your doctor about that, because some people, like, whatever condition you have, you cannot go that long without eating. Others, it's fine. But, I don't want somebody to have some issue with low blood sugar or whatever, because you just went off of what I said. So again, do your research, talk to your doctor if you need to. But intermittent fasting has been amazing for me. And I feel like you can kind of get away with eating a little worse. Like, you don't have to be as super clean, because when you are not eating for that period of time, your body really has time to regenerate a lot of things. It helps remove cellular waste, and the mitochondria in your body get to do what they're supposed to do and help your cells function better. But if you are constantly eating all the time, you're not letting your body do that and to heal itself, because you're always in digestive mode. So when you take that break, your body starts to really heal itself and kind of clear out and do what it needs to do. So I found that to be really, really beneficial. And this was something my doctor, agreed that I should do too. So that's just what I did. So take that with what you will. And I just wanted to share some fun health tips and tricks. I've done all kinds of weird things to try to better my condition. I am happy to report that I do not have Lyme's disease anymore. And my hypothyroidism is quite contained, and my goal is to be off of my thyroid medicine permanently. I have gone way down in dose from what I was, so definitely improving, and it is possible, and I won't have to be stuck on this forever. So I'm very happy about that, and that I can get my thyroid, put back to what it was meant to do and where it's supposed to be. If you have your thyroid removed, I know that's also sometimes what people end up doing with thyroid problems. You sadly will have to be on medicine for the rest of your life, because you can't just not have it. So if you don't have a thyroid, you're going to need that. But if you do still have your thyroid and you do have thyroid problems, I would, encourage you to look in that and to know that you don't have to be stuck on the medicine forever, because I just went by what I was told and I never looked otherwise. So as with anything, do your own research, check it out. Don't believe everything you hear. And, I want everybody to be healthy out there and to, own your life. And part of that, a huge part of that, is owning your health. Because if you don't have your health, you really don't have anything. You can't do much if you're not doing well health-wise. So with that, thank you all for listening. I appreciate all of you, and thank you for the nice reviews and ratings. With that, please rate and review us. Please subscribe. Please share this message. And until next time, own your life, because your life is your responsibility.
Thank you all for listening. If this added value to you, please click subscribe and rate and review us. You can also find us at Own Your Life Co. on Instagram and Facebook, and ownyourlifeco.com. And as always, own your life, because your life is your responsibility.